Hey Macy, what do the traffic lights say to the car?
I don't know.
Don't look, I'm about to change.
Whoa! Welcome to MSU Tonight. I'm Macy Gruber.
And I'm Blake Sandlin. We've got a great show for you tonight. But first, let's get the green light into some hot topics. It's that time of the year where the flowers begin to bloom and the football pads begin to boom. Keenan gave us inside access at the first week of Murray State spring football.
There was a buzz after the Murray State football program hit the ground running fresh out of spring break due to a surprising turnaround last season. The Racers were picked to finish 8th in last year's OVC preseason poll, but ultimately finished in the top half of the conference at 4th place. The morale and energy surrounding the first week of spring training was high, but so are the expectations for the squad, who finished with a 5-3 conference record last year. The focus of the first week was mostly to get reacquainted with the fundamentals and simply to bring the excitement back to Racer football. Senior linebacker Kendrick Caddis plans to use his experience with his young teammates in his final season.
Leadership, having a lot of young guys falling behind my path and stuff, leaving my mark here. So, I'll say leadership, number one.
After losing a talented senior class last season, the underclassmen will have their chance to step up and fill in the holes. Sophomore quarterback Preston Rice has been anticipating the return to the field with the chance to prove he deserves a starting spot.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm just glad to be back in pads and playing the game I love. I've really just gotten the film room more than anything, and then like to get on the field, get my drops, just back to the fundamentals.
Head coach Mitch Stewart and his staff were enthusiastic about officially getting back to work last week.
Energy and effort. Energy and effort. That's our two biggest deals, is energy and effort. When we get out here on the field, we want to be very enthusiastic about getting the opportunity to play, and we want to have a lot of energy about what we're doing. And then as we move through, then we'll kind of morph that into details. But right now, we want to get these guys out here on the field and let them have fun, let them play, let them go and run around and do what they love to do, and then kind of hone that in as we go in the middle of spring ball towards the end of it and really hone in on those details. But right now, man, we just want them to get out there and let it rip.
Murray State will play a spring football scrimmage towards the end of the month before continuing to train and prepare for summer camps. The spring football game will be on April 27th, starting at 3:45 and will run to 5:30.
The Racer Writing Center is hosting a calligraphy contest called The Beauty of Writing. Any Murray State student is eligible to enter. Contestants may submit entries until April 19th in person to the Writing Center located in Waterfield Library or by mail-in. There is no fee to enter, and the theme for this year is Harmony. Judging will take place in late April. For more information, visit the Writing Center's website at libguides.murraystate.edu/writing center.
Murray State alumni from the Gamma Delta chapter of Phi Mu Alpha came together after 45 years of not playing together to make music once again for the public to see. Murray State's Men of Note Jazz Ensemble was a group of men that had started a big band that most of them had played in as early as 1973. We talked to the group's pianist, Jeff Bear Clark, for more details.
There's three of us, Craig Ewing and Joe McGranahan and myself. We just started talking, and it seemed like that we hadn't seen a lot of people for like 45 years, and people that were friends of ours were starting to pass away, and so we thought we might need an opportunity to get as many of the old guys together that we could to get the old Men of Note jazz band back together again.
The Clara M. Eagle Art Gallery is hosting a BFA exhibit by Carly Dossick named Melancholia. Carly is a senior here at Murray State. Her exhibit displays paintings of 2- and 3-dimensional elements. She constructs her paintings by using oil paints, Sharpie, charcoal, and many other elements. The gallery opened on March 29th and will end this Friday, April 5th. Admission is free and open to the public. Coming up next on MSU Tonight, Sam and Grant will face off to find out whose Star Wars knowledge is superior.
In other words, the Nerd Olympics are coming right up. Stay tuned.
If you sensed a disturbance of the Force and couldn't tell what was wrong, congratulations, you found it. Welcome to our Star Wars spin-off of our most recent episode in which Macy and Keenan did a Grey's Anatomy trivia. We liked the idea and the concept of the competition so much we thought to do it ourselves. So here's how this is going to work. We will be answering questions about the official Star Wars film canon, and the loser has to drink ranch. All right, this is where the fun begins.
All right, boys, you ready?
Yes.
Got our buzzers ready.
And our buzzers. Can we get a quick buzzer
Yeah,
test?
buzzer chat.
There we go.
All right. All right, question 1. What starfighter is utilized by Gold Squadron in the
X-Wings. X-Wing Starfighter. Oh, that's not what it is.
Should I try?
Go ahead.
We'll finish the question.
Okay, but what starfighter is utilized by Gold Squadron in the battles of Scarif and Yavin?
Oh, I'm gonna say let's just say a B-wing. Oh.
It's a Y-Wing. Gold Squadron, that's Y-Wing, dog. I should know that.
Okay. What is the Supreme Channel or Palpatine's home planet?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Naboo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Malachor 5. But that's not easier.
Anakin asked Padme if she is an angel. Where does
Finish the question.
where does he think they live?
In the moons of Tatooine?
No.
Of the Outer Rim.
No.
Where is it?
The Iego.
Iego. Oh yeah.
Iego.
Interesting.
Okay. Spell Millennium Falcon.
M-I-L-L-E-N-I.
All right. Millennium Falcon. M-I-L-L-I.
No.
No,
Did I do the same
that's
thing?
ridiculous.
No.
I don't know how to spell
There's an E
Millennium
in there,
Falcon.
isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Millennium-Falcon.
That's wild. Absolutely.
Okay. What is Poe Dameron's call sign?
Oh.
I knew this was gonna come up,
Yeah.
and I don't know the answer.
Is it Delta Leader?
No.
No. Okay.
It's not Red Leader, is it?
No. It's Black Leader.
Black Leader. Because he's the only one with a black X-wing too. So.
What is the approximate length of an average size womp rat?
About 2.5 feet.
No.
About 13 parsecs.
No. 2 meters.
2 meters. How long is it? That's about as tall as I am. Oh my goodness. Or that's taller than I am.
What is the name of Supreme Leader Snoke's Mega Star Destroyer?
The Eclipse? Is that one?
No.
Okay.
The Death Star 4.
No, it's the ship. It's 10 kilometers wide.
Is that its name?
It was like the Eclipse. There's a dreadnought. I cannot remember what the name
The
of it was.
Supremacy.
Oh, that's stupid.
What was Big Dartlighter's call sign during the Battle of Yavin?
Red 4?
No. You're so close
gonna
every
go-
time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna go with Red 3.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Nice.
What was Emperor Palpatine's first name?
Sheev.
Yes.
My boy Sheev.
In Solo, a Star Wars story, what is the name of the planet where Han is serving as an Imperial infantryman and meets Tobias Beckett?
It's not Magneto.
No, I don't know. You go.
Oh my God.
I was just gonna say.
It's the mud planet.
I was gonna say Vulcan.
Vulcan. What is it?
Mimbon?
Mimbon. I thought that was
sounds made up.
prequel trilogy.
I think that's made up.
No.
What was Lando's role in Cloud City?
He was the mayor.
He was the logistics coordinator. No.
Baron Administrator.
He administrated Barons. All right.
In which docking bay was the Millennium Falcon forced by the Death Star tractor beam?
Docking Bay 2.
No.
Docking Bay 6.
Try 327.
It's off by a couple.
A lot of docking bays.
What structure served as the Alliance's main base of operations during the events of Rogue One and A New Hope?
Yavin 4.
No.
Something on Yavin 4.
No. Whatever that is. How you say that?
The Masasi Temple.
There you go.
Oh, that's where the
right.
ships flew out of. That's
Okay.
on Yavin 4.
Don't
But
ask
we
me.
didn't know the name of it.
No, okay.
I just work here. What Imperial commander was given charge over the completion of the second Death Star?
Director. Oh, wait, the second Death Star?
Yes.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
I don't know, because Tarkin was already dead.
And then Krennic was the one who was in charge of the first one.
No? You don't know?
Wait, I can see him in my head, but I have no idea what his name is. No. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. That's some Chris Cannon right there.
Okay, last question.
Yep.
What was the hatch number for the trash compactor that several characters are trapped in during A New Hope?
7247.
No.
2319.
No. 3263827.
That is wild.
All right, Grant.
Oh man, what'd you get? 3?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Do I just
ew.
get like a shot of ranch,
You just
or
squirt it in there,
No,
bud.
you just-
No, you just gotta.
I just gotta
You
squirt
just
it?
gotta go for it. You can do it, bud. I believe in you.
Do
I'm
it.
gonna protect the microphone.
Okay. Oh, it's flaking.
Do
off.
it.
Is it crunchy? No.
No, it's not crunchy. It's
There's stuff flaking off of the top of it, so I'm just making sure.
That's it for
That's
Star
like the
Wars
glue on
trivia. Keena and Blake are on set in a few minutes for another edition of All In, also known as the Jock Commentators. I will see you guys later on MSU Tonight.
Welcome to All In. I'm Keenan Hall, joined with my co-host Blake Sandlin here. Before we begin, it's time to see how our last bets turned out.
Our OVC tournament edition saw me going 3-0 in bets against Keenan. That's right. I finished the week by adding 17 chips from our dear friend over here.
That brings our final chip count to Blake 49, me 11. Now it's time to ante up.
So, it's been a while since we convened here. Before the OVC tournament, we were making our bets on if the Racers would even win. A lot's transpired since then. Not only did they win the tournament, but they went on to win an NCAA tournament game against Marquette. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, just getting right into it. A historic win, the 17th NCAA tournament appearance for Murray State, and it's their largest margin of victory in school history. I think it was a 17-point win. 83-64 was that final score. What were your first thoughts on that game?
First thoughts, it seemed like Marquette and Murray State were pretty much the same team. But as the game got going, Murray State just took off running. I mean, Marquette couldn't keep up with them. And it was obvious who was the better team in that game. We held Marquez Howard to about 28 points in that game. Defensive Candidate Player of the Year, Shaq Buchanan, really did a good job just containing him. And on Marquette's side, they didn't have anybody to contain Ja. I mean, stats-wise, Murray State actually shot over 50% for the game, held Marquette to under 20, around 25%. So, Murray State just dominated all game.
No, you're definitely right there. It seemed like, after I think it was 10-10 at one point early in the first half, and from there, Murray State really just imposed their will on Marquette, and they kind of just rolled over, it seemed like. That second half was all Murray State, just massive runs that whole time. You mentioned Howard. That was the key coming into this game just because he's such an instrumental part of their offense. I think he's averaging 25 points per game. I think he was the sixth leading scorer in the country coming into that game. But they held him to 26 points, but the thing is, on 27 shots. So really an inefficient night for him, and if their offense isn't coming from him, it's not really going to come from much anywhere else. So it was interesting how they were able to do that. I was a little bit surprised how well they were able to kind of guard him. But we kind of buried the lead on this topic right here. But, Ja Morant in that game, his fourth career triple-double, his third this year, which makes him the season leader within the whole country in triple-doubles. Were you surprised that he rose to the occasion of that, to that magnitude on the big stage?
I mean, well, we all knew he was going to have a great game. The way he just took over the game and, of course, came out with that triple-double, I mean, it pretty much shocked everyone. I mean, we all knew that he was going to have a great game. He's had a great year all year. We figured maybe Marquette's defenders would have found a way to contain him, but he simply went wherever he wanted to. I mean, it was just another day from Ja Morant, so, I mean, I wasn't surprised now.
I wasn't really either. Stat line at 17 points, 16 assists, 11 rebounds. That actually helped him get the fourth, like I mentioned, the fourth triple-double. But also he became the 8th player all-time to record a triple-double in the NCAA tournament and just the first since 2012. So huge historical significance, and that's only going to help us draft stock,
Yes, definitely. I mean, he's probably solidified top 5 draft
I agree.
stock.
I'd say top 3 is just almost guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed.
But from there, they won that game, I think, on Thursday.
Yep.
Had the day off to practice and whatnot. Then had to take on Florida State.
Yep.
Tale of 2 games, I guess, from that game to the next one.
Yeah.
Murray State losing that one 90-62, as most fans at home probably sorely remember. But what stuck out to you into that game? It was kind of a bad matchup you saw going into it, just with all the sides that Florida State had.
Well, we knew Florida State's defense was going to be effective in that game. What we didn't see is them being that effective from the three-point line. I mean, they simply couldn't miss what it looked like. I mean, hands in their face, open shots. I mean, everything was falling for them towards the end of that first half, and then, of course, the second half, it was just a dominating victory. I mean, they shot over 50% from the three for the game, held Murray State under 40% shooting for the game. So it was just a bad matchup for them.
No, you're right. And going into the game, I figured they would try and key in on that paint. Obviously, since they have so much size, but they made them pay from outside. And Florida State ranked 203rd in the country in three-pointers, and they averaged about 7.3 a game. They hit 11 on Murray State. So, I mean, I think it just came down to it being Florida State's night. Maybe their destiny, and I think Murray State was happy to get their one win and get out of there. But it was certainly interesting. Another big stat I took from that game: 47 bench points from Florida State, 6 bench points from Murray State. So it's tough to win games if you can't have much support from the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Florida State's bench has been effective all year.
Yeah.
I mean, and Murray State's bench has been up and down all year. So I figured they would have played a little better than was scored more than 6 points. I think those 6 points might have came from 1 or 2 players from the bench. So, you can't have a game like that where their opposing bench scores 47 points and you only get 6. That's not very efficient. So
no, by no means. Also from that game, some notable departures: Breon Sanctius, Shaq Buchanan, seniors graduating this year. And more than likely, Ja Morant would be out of here. Pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. But I wanted to focus on one of these seniors, Breon Sanctius.
Yeah.
I thought the season was over. I didn't think we'd ever see him in a Murray State uniform before or again, just because, obviously his eligibility had run out on the basketball court. But you discovered an interesting development in Breon's career last Friday, right?
That is correct. I was at a football spring training practice, and on the field, I saw Breon actually. Spoke to him for a second, but I didn't recognize or I didn't come to a conclusion that he would actually be a part of the Murray State football team coming up this season. I saw him out there. I thought he was just trying to, stay in shape, get a little exercise in. But talked to Coach Stewart and SID Parker Griffith, and he told me that, Breon Sanctius will be in the Murray State football uniform next season. So it's a big development.
It's interesting, because I think we both have looked at Breon's high school highlights. We knew he was a quarterback coming in, even playing basketball. We had kind of watched him, but seems like it'd be a weird fit now. I feel like Breon would be a little bit slow at the quarterback position, but it looks like they were trying him out at wide receiver, right? Do you think that's a fit for him, maybe a tight end, something like that?
Well, whenever you have a 6'8" wide receiver, he's obviously going to be a red zone threat. Even if he's just a distraction, just to put him out there. I don't think there are many corners in the country, especially in the OVC, that are probably taller than 6'4", 6'5". They'll probably use him in the red zone a lot. I don't see him playing often this season, but I see them using him as a red zone threat, definitely.
I agree with you there, and he's the tallest, I think, by about 2 inches of any of Murray State's players. So to think that he wouldn't be played at all, I think would be a bit of an understatement. I think we'll see some minutes out of him.
Yeah, Coach Stewart said he's kind of awkwardly big back there at quarterback when he saw his tape in high school, so he figured he wouldn't drop him back and let him come under snap. So I think he'll be a good receiver / tight end. Yeah.
Sure. And from that, let's get to our bets this week. Basketball is winding down, and we really don't want to embarrass ourselves with betting on baseball, tennis, anything else going on at Murray State because we're sorely underqualified for that. But the Final Four is this week. So we're going to have a few bets on this, see if we can clean Keenan out for good. 11 chips left in my 39. Looks like this guy's going to have some condiments on
There's a
this.
chance, man. There's a chance. I'm going to fight to the end.
All right, well, let's get it going now. Virginia and Auburn play on Saturday. You had some takes going into this one. Tell me what you're thinking on this and what kind of wagers you'd like to go into.
Well, both teams are playing exceptionally well for the time being. Auburn's their win over Kentucky was very promising, but the way Virginia fought against Purdue and guarding Carson Edwards, I mean, one of the best guards in the country, I see Virginia beating Auburn in this game and making it to the championship game. So I'm probably going to bet 3 chips on that.
Okay. It's weird, this Final Four. In the past, you haven't really had the kind of parity within the field to where you could legitimately see any of these teams coming and winning. Virginia, I think, has a great chance of winning. They're the only 1 seed in the field right now. But Auburn is red hot. They've won their last 12, one of the most prolific three-point shooting teams in the country. I think they're 3rd in the country, average 11.4 threes per game. Lost their, I think, 2nd leading scorer in Okiki against North Carolina, but they rallied against Kentucky. I think it's possible. I think if they can extend Virginia and make them pay from the three-point line, I think this is a great probability that they can advance to the championship game and possibly win their first championship, I think, in history, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
so I will match you on 3. We will see how that plays out. From that, let's go to Michigan State and Texas Tech. They're also playing on Saturday. Texas Tech, I'll talk a little about them because that's going to be my pick in this one.
Okay.
They hold opponents to 19.7 field goals per game, which is just an astonishing number. That's first in the country in field goals to opponents. They allow 36.9% shooting, which is 2nd in the country. You've heard all year about this Texas Tech defense, one of the most prolific in the country.
Right.
And not a bad offense, really. On the other side, Jarrett Culver's leading them and really a legitimate NBA prospect, averaging 18.9 a game. And they've got some more depth on their roster. Mervetti and Mooney, for them are averaging 11 points each. So I think it's possible. I think the offense is there to beat a team like Michigan State, a team Michigan State that obviously excels offensively and that they were able to beat Duke the other day.
Right.
Texas Tech's kind of my sleeper right now. I think they have the lowest odds. Maybe it's Auburn, but it's one of the two to win the title. But I like Texas Tech. I've liked them all year. I'm not surprised that they beat Gonzaga the other day, and I want to ride them. I think if it comes down to a Virginia, Texas Tech, or a Texas Tech Auburn, I think I like their defense to hold up. So I'm going to go 4 there.
Okay.
So let me know how you're feeling.
Well, Michigan State's obviously well coached with the Hall of Famer Tom Izzo, and he basically outcoached Coach K in that Duke semifinal, or not semifinal, but regional final, to make the Final Four. So they have a lot of experience with that Michigan State team. Cassius Winston, one of the best guards in the country again. I see Michigan State outlasting Texas Tech. It'll be a close game, grinded out game, but I'll put Michigan State on that. I'll match you with 4.
It's going to be interesting. Another just point I want to point out, Michigan State 3rd in the country in assists. They average 18.9 assists. Texas Tech is 5th in the country in holding opponents to just 9.8 assists. So that's going to be interesting. I think if you can keep them from scoring just collectively and maybe limit it to just one person, whether that's Winston or whoever, you've got a great chance of advancing. So that's going to be interesting. Did you match me with 4 there?
Yeah, I did, yes.
So you've got 4 left.
I do.
4, just enough for a final wild card wager, which is picking our national champion. So let's go 4 on who we're picking to win it all. I told you mine. I'm going Texas Tech all the way.
I'm going to stick with Virginia. They're a well-coached team. They play very good team defense, and I just feel like they're running hot right now. Their win over Purdue was very promising. I just see Virginia winning this game if it's against Texas Tech or Michigan State. Kyle Guy's one of the best 2 guards in the country. I mean, when his shot's on, it's on. He matched Edwards shot for shot down the stretch of that game, so I'll pick Virginia to win it.
I like it. We will see how it plays out. Thank you for joining us this week on All In. We will see if Keenan's bets play out. We've got one more show to get our final bets in before we do a final count to determine the big loser. After the break, Macy and Sam will compete in an epic lip sync battle. See you next time.